All right, good morning, guys. Welcome into another day. So, right here, the first thing that I'm looking at always is the economic calendar. What kind of news do we have coming out? So, it looks like right now at 10 a.m. New York time, which is 7 a.m. my time, we'll be having PMI, which is a high impact news driver. So, you do want to wait for these news drivers to come out. Pre-market, we had a pretty important one as well, right? So, yeah, as of right now, we're just waiting. I'm a little bit more neutral bias. Again, I can see us just continue off this order block and continue bullish order flow if we are really, really bullish. But these lows are starting to look a little bit suspicious to me, given that we have this unmitigated PD array below, and same thing for ES, right? So I'm more neutral today than I am ultra bullish. Yesterday I was pretty bullish on seeing higher prices, given that we were displacing through here, had already inversed on ES. So I did have some targets that we went over yesterday. Those targets were hit, but unfortunately we weren't able to get in. So I'm just going down through the time frames and kind of seeing what I see. I do see these relative lows, right? I mitigated daily. I can definitely see us dumping today, but I would like to see. Honestly, it would be okay if we don't, but I'm waiting for that 10 a.m. news driver, which is in 7 minutes. I also think these highs are really still in play, but we can easily create just relative highs, engineer more buy side, and then displace lower to just end up higher. And same thing for ES. We have highs here, highs here. It just makes sense for market to not give it right away, rather just make everybody think, oh no, this is it, we're going lower. For some reason, any down moves that we have in the market, like these, makes everybody think we're dying, like everything's over, world's over. But it's just manipulation stages in the market. I really wouldn't be bearish until we break some type of meaningful structure, right? Like continuation with displacement. But I just don't see us doing that right now. We could, but I am going to maintain my bullish bias as long as we are bullish, because this looks nothing but bullish, right? Oh, this looks bullish. These little weekly candles that are down close, they look like nothing when you zoom out, right? But if you zoom into the daily and then you zoom into the 4 hour, these moves are pretty scary, right? But our bias is still bullish overall. So keeping that in mind, we do have an S&T here, a very small one, right? NQ failed to sweep this. I want to see how this hourly closes. If this hourly closes very bearish, then I will be leaning a little bit more towards these lows. But if we have a pretty nice reaction here at 10 a.m. to the upside, then I'm gonna just be waiting on the sidelines to see what market can offer. Right. So that's kind of my 2 cents right now. We are in a 15-minute inefficiency to the downside. We're also in a 15-minute on NQ. So something to keep in mind. But again, notice how price is like stalling, right? It's just chopping back and forth. What are we waiting for? We are waiting to get an injection of volatility at 10 a.m. This stuff is like scripted, like a TV show, right? You have the time that everything's going to start. And right now it's 10 a.m. for this high impact news driver. So this is what we wait for. I don't take trades beforehand, so I would not be interested in any of this price action, right? And as we can see, this price action is not ideal. We open, we have an indecisive candle, and we continue to just chop around, right? We have an S&T not doing much. We have an S&T at the lows here. sweeping this low, and NQ failing to sweep this low by a little. But I'm just keeping it in mind, because if we start displacing from here at 10 a.m., then I do think these highs are in play, right? These look a little too clean. Equal highs. And just to make sure, right? Same thing on the regular NQ contracts. And then ES as well has these relative highs. So that in mind, just waiting. We have Bitcoin today pushing at 92,000, Ethereum back over 3,000. I think at one point it was like at 31 today. Yeah, 31.46. Not bad. Again, I do want to see some displacement out of these areas here. These levels are where I would like to see some form of support to continue higher. So a lot of people have a lot of price targets for end of year for cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Some people say some crazy prices. I just want to see structure continue to support higher prices. Fundamentally, anything can happen, but I want to see the structure continue to support higher prices. All right, so in about 2 minutes or so, we'll be going into this news driver. I did want to record this ahead of time just so we can see how news impacts price right now, right? A lot of people don't use economic calendars. I think they're incredibly useful, and you should be using it if you are trading. Anytime you're putting risk on the table, and any advantage you can get to understand where the areas of volatility will be, it's best to avoid them. I would not want to be part of them, because we can have a really ugly candle. We just whip back and forth. But PMI, we'll see. Other than that, let me see what we have over here. Yeah, the 1 minute looks really, really ugly. Okay. All right, 30 more seconds. The plan was to go on a bike ride this morning. Didn't happen. But we'll go to the gym after this. So there's the injection of volatility. Right. I'm going to see what we do here. I'm going to stay to the 5 minute. And then Thursday, we have some news pre-market. And then Friday as well, we have some news at 10 and pre-market. And this is CAD, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll take this off now. All right. And we are in that 950 macro to 1010. So we'll mark those out so you guys can see. Typically in this macro, we'll have some type of expansion to either side. So we've just closed our 1 hour candle, right? We're still holding that SMT. I want to see if we hold that and see higher prices from here, because we're not looking like we want to push lower. So just want to be patient and not rush into anything. 950 to 1010. There we go. I would like to see some type of 5-minute displacement here, creating some type of gap, and then see if we can get up into here. And for the sake of the video, I don't want to make it as long as yesterday's. Yesterday's was like an hour and a half. If price starts to slow down a little, then I'll pause it and then I'll just resume the recording whenever I start seeing that price is speeding up again, right? So that way the video isn't like 2 hours long, because we could be here for another 2 hours. So don't want to bore you guys to death. But then it's also really good to see raw footage, right, of the market and expectations and see if they're met or not. It's honestly the best way to continue to learn, right? Because we never stop learning, and so this is perfect. We're able to better analyze and forward test. So we want to see this displacement stay like this, and then the next candle leave a gap here, right? It's almost like this 15-minute becomes invalid, and we're not really paying attention to this because now market is starting to show us we can continue to push higher. Why? Because we swept on ES, right? And we failed to sweep on NQ here. So, and we're struggling to continue to push lower. So if we wanted to go lower, we would have went lower already, but we're not. So I do want to see a displacement here. And what do we get? We're starting to get a displacement. So again, this candle can completely come down and wick it, but right now we are leaning towards bullishness. And this I am disregarding at the moment. So this is how you start building your narrative. We start having a story being told. So the SMT at the lows here is starting to tip its hand for us to show us, okay, we're going to be going higher or not. So if we would have continued to displace lower and got rid of the SMT, then obviously I would have been a little bit more neutral still, but I am leaning now more bullish. Perfect. Now I would want to see this candle leave us a nice gap here on the 5-minute. If we don't, and this candle completely retraces all this price action that we just did, then yeah, I'm not interested right now. I'm pursuing longs. This is why I'm a little bit more neutral bias, but because we are inside this PD array and we're creating a new PD array to the upside, so we can consolidate a little bit before expanding. But I do want to see these highs just look a little too good to be left alone there. So yeah, yesterday we were planning on going to sleep a little bit early. Got carried away, and then ended up sleeping like close to midnight. It's really late for me. Usually I like to be in bed by like 9:30 to 10, so that way I can aim to get up next day. But it is what it is, we just It just throws off the schedule a little bit. I like to do something early morning, whether it's a walk or a run or a bike ride or something, just to kind of get the body rolling, blood pumping and whatnot. So what do we now want to see? We don't want to see this complete move get rebalance. If it gets rebalanced, then we've likely just continued higher into this PD array. We are showing bearishness here. This is why I'm more neutral today than I am marrying one bias, right? But we need to see. Because if we leave a gap here, then I'm still interested. But we have 2 minutes until this candle closes. I got something here. I'd like to see that gap stay open. But if not, then we continue to wait. I don't like this closure of this candle. And we left this gap here, super small. We do have potential trade here. Then we'd just be targeting these relative lows as well. Let's see. $15 is holding this. And then the 5 minute is also holding that. I'm just looking at this short potential, but I do want to see how this candle closes. And we still have time on the 5 minute, 2 minutes. If we start displacing through here, then yeah, this could be GG's. The only reason why I would like a short is because we do have this low where we created the SMT, right? And then we're showing bearishness on the hourly close, and then the 15 minute as well. And then the 5 minute leaving this gap. It's almost like a inducement gap for people that want to chase longs, right? But we're in between both of these PD arrays, so we could just gyrate right here. But I am willing to give it a shot with 2 micros here if we close on the 15-minute bearish in 1 minute. So if we close very bearish, I'm willing to give it a shot here to these lows. Just with 2 micros. Yeah, because we have everything for a short setup as well. We have our inverse here. We have our fair rally gap. Just want to see how this 15 closes. We didn't leave a gap on ES, right? Okay, so we close like this. And let me just go over the reason why this short is looking pretty good. So we are engineering this buy side, right? We have lows below. We have unmitigated PD arrays on the higher time frame. We could easily leave that buy side there. So it doesn't have to be taken out today. This 15-minute looks bearish, right? We've tapped into it twice now. We swept inside there, and then we've had a fair rally up left there. Just for some reason, I don't feel like it's stalling here too much because of this 5. Yeah, it is. I need to see how this 5-minute candle closes because I don't want to see this displace through. So I'm going to sit on the sidelines. I'm a little unsure right now. I'm fighting with the idea of going short and the idea of going long. So I can see both sides. And when I can see both sides to the upside and downside, I'd rather stay on the sidelines to see a little bit more clear of a picture, right? So I can make a thesis for us going higher, and I can make also a case for us going lower, right? And right now the case going lower is a little bit enticing right here. So this is where we would have got filled. And this would have been the trade, right? So we would have been filled in there. But I do not like how we have not inversed this five, and we did respect it, right? Respected the volume imbalance, and this almost feels like an inducement to the downside, right? We're still respecting this for value gap here. It feels like they're giving you this setup here, which looks good, to induce people to the downside. So I want to see how this candle closes. If we close really bearish, then I can enter somewhere in here. But if not, then we're more likely going to expand, and then we'll have a setup to the upside here. So yeah, that's kind of the idea right now for me, and why I'm on the sidelines rather than entering short right away. Because I was looking at the idea short. I mean, you guys seen me kind of go through the thought process. I was contemplating entering shorts, right? But I do like these highs, right? This is what I'm talking about. And just because we can go lower doesn't mean I have to participate in it. But I want to see what we do here and how this candle closes. If we leave this gap here, this looks pretty good. This looks really good. And then we'd be inversing this gap as well. Yeah, this looks really, really good. So I need to see how the 5-minute closes. Typically, when I have a lot of wrestling, doubtful ideas like that, where I'm in between two options, I like to take a step back, right, and not really like rush into it. So right now we can just wait, and then we'll have a little bit more of a clear picture of what we can actually do before putting risk on the table. Okay, so we're just coming back into these inefficiencies here, right? Off this 5. And this is not the best 5-minute closure. This looks pretty mediocre, not gonna lie. With this whole candle, and the body is weak. So again, they continue to wait. We expect this type of price action. Why? Because we're in between these two PD arrays. Remember what we mentioned before, we expect some type of sideways movement. This doesn't look clear to me. Sure, we have a 1 minute for a value gap. Could work, but it doesn't look clear to me, the direction. It still looks really indecisive. So if I'm in doubt, I'll just stay out. Let's remove these things from here. No meaningful displacement to the downside either. If we have a big down close candle, with inversing this gap and leaving a fair value gap inside, then I would be interested in this. But as of right now, I'm just neutral. It's barely 7:20. We got time. Okay, good. So we've came in, tapped into the 5. Nice. Now, do we have some type of continuation here in the next 1 minute? Negative. No continuation. $15 looks not the best. So we have a very small fair value up here. I think as my stop would have to be pretty. It's too big. Keep waiting. Such a slow market today. What the yikes. 15-minute is barely gonna close again. I don't like this displacement. Technically, this follows the model, but I don't like the displacement. It just looks very mediocre. So that's why I'm not in this. But I don't like the displacement. It doesn't look very strong. It looks weak. And because of all this type of movement, I'm not super in a hurry to get into a trade, right? Should never be in a hurry. Sometimes we want to be done or we want to just find our trade, but it could take time. You have to be patient. You can't rush the process of it, wanting to jump into a trade ASAP, right? Because if I was thinking of getting into this, my stop would more than likely be at the bodies. We would almost got stopped out. It looks like we will probably get stopped out. Who knows? And then I would have just targeted these highs here, right? And then see if we can get all the way up into here. But that's just, I feel like it's asking for too much. We haven't had a really clear reaction, right? So now we've closed another 5-minute. Look how this one closes. We're not doing anything. We're just consolidating. So what I asked for here is I asked for some level of manipulation. In this case, I want to see some manipulation lower or higher, but I prefer lower so I can target those highs. And then some type of displacement out of here. And then I'll be in that to see if I can target that. Just because we're likely to consolidate, because again, we're inside a bearish PD array and a bullish PD array. We're just moving sideways. So I'm looking at these lows that we've just created here. And these lows are now have my attention to see some level of manipulation here. Boom, dropping lower and then going higher. So again, this would be the perfect example if I'm in this trade. And let's say you did have your stop at the low. Why is it dangerous to have your stop at the low? Because we have other relative lows next to it, which market can manipulate down into and then head higher. So you can get taken out of your trade and then your trade goes without you. So for lack of a better term, I'm imagining that I'm already in this trade here and that I'm about to get stopped out. And when I'm about to get stopped out, I want to see if this is the manipulation like here to then displace higher, right? Because we're also not displacing lower, so we're obviously going to have some level of manipulation before heading higher, in my opinion. So we will see. I want to see these lows taken. That's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. And how much time are we at? Already 40 minutes. Sorry, guys. It's going to be a long video. But I just rather just record it all in one hit. All right, so we've created another low there. I do expect that low to get taken. So we would have been taken out of the trade or nearly to the tick. Then the trade starts working out, right? So if we displace out of here like this and we leave with 1 minute for a value gap and the 5 minute looks good with big displacement above this high, I definitely would like to participate in that. Let me see regular MQ to see if that low was swept. No, it wasn't. Perfect. All right, so I just need a minute left. Good closure, and then we'll be interested in this. But if we displace higher, and this is the manipulation before heading lower, that's gonna suck because then we're just off for the day. Like we're not right bias, I guess. Then we'll start looking for some type of move lower. Mm-hmm. Oh. All right, so we did close. We have our, so this is lovely. I'd love to take this. All right, and our stop is going to be below there. And I'll be targeting the highs there. Perfect. Yeah. So I'll do 2 here. I'll just do the 3 there. Solid. I'm expecting this order block to get tapped back into. So I was going to do 2 and then 1 here. I don't want to stop loss below there. And then we're targeting the high. Why are we entering this? Because remember I said we want to see a closure above here on the 5 minute and a nice displacement. All right, we came back tap into the 5 and then we displaced. So I'm interested in this now. But let's see if we get filled. Do you think we come back and tap all this? Yep. And I'm willing to risk 3 micros. 1 micro is only, we'll risk 1. Ooh. And then we'll be done for the day. So that's kind of my thought process behind that. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, geez. Let's see. So far it's taken us 46 minutes to find a good trade idea. 46 minutes today. Again, I want to wait for a nice retracement into here, and then I'm willing to enter there. Hopefully this thing doesn't just moon without us. If it does, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but I would want to see that. And would you look at that? Lines up with the 1 to 2. Okay.
Order filled.
Right, so we're filled in there. And let's target our targets here. We're filled in there. We only got filled in for 1, 2. That's fine. If we get filled in for the second one, it'll be at the order block. But as of right now, I'm okay with that. So I will be right back. I'm gonna go get this. I haven't made my tea for today, so I'll be right back. I'll go do that. But here's a trade. So let's take this. And then I'll put it on the 1 minute so it's a little bit more clear. So yeah. Expecting a drop into this order block here, which will be the 5-minute order block, right? And then we have perfect structure. I like this very much. This is where I wouldn't mind losing on this type of trade. But I'll be back. All right, guys, we are back. We got the tea in hand. But yeah, this is a trade. Um, Unfortunately, we didn't get filled on our other contract, but it's okay because the stop's already pretty big. And I am taking this trade across all 6 accounts. So I have my top steps accounts over here. Solid. So this trade, given that it works out, will make back our loss from yesterday and the very small loss from previous day. So yeah, it's just being patient, I guess, and if this trend doesn't work out, it's fine because this follows all our rules and follows the bias that we wanted, right? You got to be happy that you didn't get induced into the short setup right here just because it looked good, right? But it doesn't follow your bias. So I heard some guy online say that daily bias is something of the past, that a lot of people don't use it and whatnot, but I think daily bias is one of the most important things you can have to refine your trading, right? Because if you didn't have daily bias, why would you want to be taking trades in the opposite direction just because you feel like it's going to have work out and you want to catch something, right? So it's like this short right here that I had marked out. Like it follows the criteria, but I feel like it's going to work out, right? I felt like it was going to go to this low, right? And a good friend of mine always told me logic over feelings, right? That's where I got that from. A guy that mentored me. He's always telling me just be logical about everything because in the markets, like that's what makes everything run. The emotion of people, right? Like the wanting to take a trade and be done for the day. And then look, it taps into it and then it almost makes it seem like it's going to work out and just for you to get completely railed, right? And then it comes back in here and then it doesn't stop you out quite yet, but then it makes it seem like it's going to work out again. Again, comes, retest that order block. You start looking at everything possible to convince yourself that this idea is correct, right? Oh, it's respecting the order block. Oh, it's still continuing to respect this structure. Oh, we created lows. We'd have to sweep them. We don't have to. Look how we didn't sweep them, and then just displace, and we displace out of here. This is clear displacement. This was not. This is why I was hesitant into getting into this trade because this doesn't scream obvious to me. Maybe to other people it does. Maybe their stop is down here and they almost got stopped out. And then by the mere luck, it just started to displace. I'd rather wait, right? So now we're just going to be targeting the same highs. And we have to note them on ES as well. Right, this is the high. If ES were to sweep it first, then I am taking it off here. Right, so I do want to set an alert there in case I miss it. I always tend to miss some of them sometimes. Let me go back to the 1 minute. And this is the thing right here. Let me see how much I actually saved on that. So because I wanted to save $17 and putting my order here at this order block, this contract has not been filled, right? Discard that. This contract was not filled because I wanted to save a few extra dollars. This is one thing I've noticed I've done, and I guess I've struggled with my trading, is wanting to save some extra chunk of change. And I don't know where that comes from. Maybe from my background or something, my scarcity mindset of wanting to maximize profit or whatnot. And sometimes it bites you in the ass. Like there's been times where like, and I do this a lot. I don't know if you guys notice, I place limit orders, like limit here, and then it came tap me in. And then from there, I feel content with that limit order. The guy that mentored me, he just buys market. Like if it's in close proximity, he's just boom buying. And this has bit me in the ass multiple times where it comes and it nearly fills it and then it goes. And my friend, he gets in because he's a close proximity entry guy, market buy. And then I'm here left with my limit. Kind of like this situation. Imagine this wasn't here. And I'm just here. Like it came close to it. He bought and then I didn't. So this is something I notice I do a lot where I put a limit order or an extra contract to try to maximize profits, right? But I'm okay with this risk because this risk is like, I think it's $200 on this trade. And yeah, the reward is nice. So it's 400 and something bucks. Gonna mark up this. That's too hot. Too hot. Back to the 1 minute. There we go. And there we go. So this is the fair value of the kind of stood out to me, obviously. Put this in here. We could put it in blue. One darker shade, maybe. We'll lower the shade of this one, since we already know what we're looking for here. And then this is the 5 minute. So I'm going to leave my limit order there just because we can tap back into this. And looking at the 15 minute, I really like this discount. I mean, premium wick here. And now we just wait. We just wait. Yep. Burned myself. Hopefully my mic is not. Yeah, I never know if it's working. I mean, it looks like it's working. I'm getting back some feed, but I never know. Oh, man. I'm gonna hit some chest today or something, probably. Let's see. Give it some breathing room. So again, we can come into this order block. That's why I'm leaving the order there. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I'm just really tired. Tired. So we're coming back into this 1 minute. Right, we've tapped it. I do expect this order block to be tapped. That's crazy. Oh, it's so good. Okay. Okay, and it is tapped. So this trade has perfect amount of breathing room, right? So yeah, I do allow it for some breathing room. That's crazy, but it'll tap right now. It'll tap it. I think if we've come down this much, we have to rebalance this. So we do want to pay attention to the mean threshold here of this order block. It's actually insane if we don't tap that. That's insane. Let's see. It was a small 5-minute gap here. So now we created another 5-minute inefficiency here. Okay. So I want to see if this 5-minute can take us down into the order block and then displace higher. But I also wouldn't mind if we just inverse this and anybody looking to go in short on this 5. The idea is invalidated. Because we have yes pushing. That's crazy. Came like 1 point away from filling me. And this is what I'm talking about with my limit orders. It is what it is. Sometimes, I guess, you can try to be a little too precise and then you get that end to stick. It's not even precise, it's just more so, yeah, just conservative, I guess, at that. Risking more or something. Like something in my brain tells me just leave a limit order. Like, I don't know, market buying feels like kind of sloppy to me, but I understand why people do it. They don't get missed out like that, you know? They're able to get filled on the contracts that they want, you know? I wouldn't mind risking 3 contracts. I think that would have been like a close to $400 risk. That's fine. Oh. It's just a high resistance liquidity run today. Just slowly making our way up there. We have a few little displacement, then we have a consolidationary leg, then we displace, consolidationary leg, right? Consolidation, displace, consolidation, displace, consolidation. Yep. Let's see how long this video's been going for. Oof, 1:12. Another long video, but those who watch it at least get some live price action, you know, and get to see the thought process. Right, so Okay, so we did inverse this. Nice. We close slightly above. Yes, looks a little bit better. See if we continue this bullish order flow. Coming back, tapping into the inversion. Oh, bye. Gotta finish this before it gets too cold. All right, so I'm gonna just let the trade play out. I'm gonna go do some stuff real quick, and I'll be back.
Order filled.
And yeah, we're back. Oh, man, that's crazy. Hopefully you guys can hear me, because this mic tweaks out sometimes. It connects to my uh what the hell? Take that off. Should only be one cell limit. Okay. It's a long ass trade. It's a long trade. Let's see, we've been in this trade since over here. Jesus, over an hour now, or just an hour? Yeah.
Order filled.
So on my top step, I also took a partial. Let me see. What do we have here? I do feel comfortable moving my stop to break even now, given that we have this order block here, right? And then we also have this 5-minute fair value gap. I really wouldn't want to see it come dig lower. So now this becomes a risk-free trade, right? CES. Once CES gets here, though, I will be taking another partial, and then I'll see if we can get the last one, and I'll throw my stop, because I would want to see us like push higher, right? So we were finally able to get filled on our other contract. I did add one more on my top steps as well, since we did dig deeper into that order block and respected the mean threshold. Look at the bodies closing above mean threshold. And then we've created another order block here, which I really, really liked. I was in and out of the room, so that's why I was in on camera. I had to go in and out. I had some stuff to do. So right here on ES, we already tapped into this 5, right? And for those that might be wondering why I have this on ticks and not dollar signs, it's a mental thing. I prefer to see the ticks and not the money. Again, I'm following my structure plan. I'm not trying to see how much money I'm up and down. I just know how much I'm risking. If I'm okay with that risk, then I'll put the trade on, and as long as the structure looks correct, then I let it play out. But I typically don't want to look at the money. That's why I have everything on ticks. So right here we have what potentially could be a PD array SMT, where we see NQ fail to come into this PD array, and ES already tapped into it. I want to see if this holds, and then NQ has this as a breakaway gap, and then we can leave that gap there to continue higher. But it's freaking cold outside. But yeah, so I'm gonna get off camera again, let this trade continue to play out. Been in this for an hour now. That's typically not how long my trades are, but certain days I guess you have to wait that long. But yeah, I'll be back, guys. All right. Hopefully my mic is working. I never know when this mic is working or not. Okay, so NQ also came into the 5 minutes. So, and this is a giant inverse, which I don't expect us to retrace all the way lower on ES. But we do have this order block as well here that I really like before the big up move. Right. Yeah. So we just continue to wait. If you haven't noticed, we've been waiting for so long. This stream is almost 2 hours long. Everybody talks about being patient in trading and waiting. This is, I guess, a raw footage of what it looks like. Yeah, it's not just throwing those words around: discipline, consistency, patience, and all that stuff, right? It's actually being patient enough to wait for that setup, and then being analytical enough to understand where potentially the market is creating inducement opportunities for you to get in and get railed pretty much. So if anybody's ever watching this whole stream from beginning to end, yeah, well, congrats to you, because your attention span is not, rot. And hopefully you've learned something, or at least could relate on something. Maybe you don't even need to learn anything, but at least you can get an insight of someone else that trades, not just those quick dopamine videos of couple 30-second videos of people just making a ton of money on funded accounts, on combines. It's crazy. So many people on social media throw around like, oh, made 10 grand, made this and that. It's all on a combine. They can't even take the money out the next day, right? So, yeah, something that I guess I've noticed. But yeah, so we just continue to wait. I do want to see this 5-minute hold here, and then this order block hold as well. We have taken a partial up here after we swept all this, right? We took one partial. We took pretty much our contract that we added here, took it off there, just so we can give ourselves something for the day if this does stop us at break even, because that's well within the possibility of happening. So we don't want to marry the fact that we are completely right? And same thing on my top step. I've also taken a partial just to secure some profit, and then I'm just letting the rest run. See if we can get up there. I do have a better fill on top step. My break even isn't until all the way down here, because I didn't add until we had the reaction off the mean threshold here. So roughly a run. Yeah, run the same area. Run here. Right? Same stop. But again, we've seen this displace and then just completely come down. So not marrying the idea, but I do want to see us get up into there. We're coming into this unmitigated PD array here. We'll put that in blue as well. Do you want to give... No. I just would hate to get wicked out and then work because we can't come into the mean threshold of this order block, which is all this here. Right, but in a perfect world, we do not. We also just enter the 1150 macro. So I do expect the move to be here. 1150 to 1210. Right, I'm expecting us to displace higher here. All right, we dug into that order block. Mm-hmm. Why are we expecting displacement here? We are expecting displacement here because of the 1050 macro. So I'm expecting candles to start pushing us higher. And we have all this bullish support to the upside. And then we still have our target, and ES is still not taking that high. So once ES takes this high here, then I can partial out, right? I was a little fearful that if we came down, because we've been doing these dramatic moves lower, that we come down and we wick us out. I was thinking of moving my stop to this low and the trade look a little like this. For the peace of mind, I think I'll do it. And then I'll just be risking my profits that I've already made. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. Why here? Because we have this order block here, right? We have our breaker here, which should be respected. But again, we can wick out of it. Our bodies just need to close in there. So I would hate to get wicked and then the play continue to run. I'm still really, really bullish on this. And I do like this play a lot. But I also don't want to get wicked out after all this waiting and then it go. But I do expect the move to be here. Right, I expect it to be here because of the 1150 macro. So let's see. Just stay on the 5. I don't like this close. But again, I do want to let it play out here. The original 1 minute that we've held into this consolidation. Right, so right there we would have been stopped out already at break even. If we could have left it there like that. But I do want to give this some breathing room because of this type of price action we've been having. Too many drawings everywhere.
Order filled.
Okay, so we're out break even on Top Step there. We're only up 120 per account. So that's $580 or so. And then on here, I'm giving it to here. Right. I'm okay with Top Step like that. Just leave it up. Just really unfortunate if this does not work out. This look great to the upside, but yep. Well, if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. Again, this trade looks really, really good. I would take it again and again. So we've added here. We took our partial there at these highs. I think what we could have done better is just taken another partial, right? And then just let one contract kind of do its thing since we were already halfway there. And then the conditions have been a little bit high resistance. So we'll just see. I give it a little bit more breathing room because of this order block here. And then on the 15-minute as well, seem to be having this retracement into this wick still that I like. Oh, we are coming off of 1 hour. We close in a minute, but we see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So we also have the SMT here. So now I feel comfortable moving my stop to the low here because of the SMT, right? Just to save a little bit more. I would not want to see it dig below that SMT. Why? Because there's no reason for us to come lower now. We've come back, we rebalanced all this, and we put in an SMT. If I would have gave my top step the same amount of risk, but I just didn't want to, I'd rather just call it there because it's being copy traded across the 5 accounts. So I'd rather just call it there. So I do like the SMT we put in here. I'm expecting this 5-minute not to hold, right? Here. Delete that, and I'm expecting this to not hold. 5 minutes heavy. Market's being tough today with these retracements. They're a lot bigger than usual retracements. Especially once we have displacement. Imagine how many people are just buying long here, just getting destroyed. Absolutely. Right? Because you have your breaker, low, high, lower, low. People are basing it off this type of setup and order block and just for it to come down lower and retest that. So I do feel confident in this right here with this SMT being put in. Because I was feeling a little bit iffy about it. I was like, it's probably just going to stop me out and then go. But now that we put in this SMT, this gives me the confidence to hold this. And then my risk, just minimize it to here, right? Mm-hmm. And then I want to see on the 1 minute bearish PD raise to be disrespected, kind of like right here. So now we've created this inverse here, right? So I'm expecting this inverse to hold and push us higher. right? Because if we are going to be going higher from here, I'm expecting all bearish video rates to start being disrespected and not respecting them to the downside. That's so crazy. I literally got taken out by, oh, it's quite a few points actually. 10 points on my top steps. I break even, and then it just decides to run now, which makes sense though. The SMT was put in. This is where I should be paying more attention, waiting for some type of SMT, and then giving it till the SMT is put in. I've noticed that a couple times, but it is what it is. So I'll just leave it on the 1 minute. I'll be right back because I need to go to the restroom. But yeah. All right. Let's see this. I'm expecting this to be the fake move down, giving people an opportunity to go short just for us to pump up higher. Why do I think that? I mean, we've been supporting higher prices, just a very high resistance liquidity run up higher. Um, Again, these highs are the draw for me. Once this is hit, then I take it off. But this trade is just, I'll tell you what, it's just mentally draining. It's mentally draining. We've been in this trade for hour 33 minutes or so. That's not even counting the time that we spent formulating this trade, right? Building all the way from back here or so, like around here. So this is why it's just the mental capital is at all-time lows. Like even if this wins, it's just like the amount of time it's taken is just a little bit annoying. Um, I do think I should have taken a partial here, and I actually will take a partial here if we go there first and not hit the target first, just because it's taking so long, right? Typically, I'm not in trades for this long. I'm usually in and out of trades. I think I average around 15 to 20 minutes max. But typically they're shorter, 10 minutes, 7 minutes. But again, today, these are the conditions that we're in. These conditions are causing a lot of people to blow accounts, going short, going long, going short, going long, not really sure of the bias. But I've been holding on to this bullish bias ever since we've been over here. So that's what's keeping me alive during this session. Um, I've been taken out of my top step accounts in profit, so I'm only up $120 per account. Um, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And I'll be taking a partial here at this high, and then just moving my stop to break even, and whatever happens, happens after that, because you just become mentally drained after waiting for so long for this trade to play out, right? Like if you're in this short and you see this as an opportunity short, which it could have worked out, but I see it as an inducement, and you're targeting these lows, right? This is a valid trade if you're short bias. You're inside the five still, but look how it gets ran through, right? I'm not letting go of my bias. The heck did I just delete? Oh. So that's why I'm still holding that, and I'm giving it to the SMT low. So the stop is at a logical place. I have trailed it, so we have limited the risk from, shoot, it was all the way down here. So even if this takes us out, our partial will make back the money for that stop out, which is why it's really important to manage yourself during these conditions, right? Because these conditions definitely mentally drain you. You're expecting something, and you have to understand that you have no control over any of this. Like the marketplace has full control over what's going to happen. What's going to happen is going to happen. You just need to make sure that you are reading price correctly and you're on the right side. For example, my top sub accounts being taken out in profit, it is what it is. Like that's what happens when humans try to manually intervene, and you don't leave the stop where it's supposed to be. Yes, I'd rather take profit than risk taking a loss. And for some reason, those accounts have a little bit more of how would you say it? I try to be more conservative with those accounts because they are copy traded, but you know, this is my live account, so I should be the same type of conservative, but it's just like a mental thing for some reason. So yeah, so this is your other inverse, and you have your two inefficiencies. But just look at this, right? Just look at all this. Then you have displacement higher, people going in here, right? They FOMO into a trade here. They put their stop below here. They get stopped out. Trade starts going. They FOMO again. Trades get stopped out. It's just stop out mania, for a lot of people that are FOMOing. If you're long too, right? And then same thing happens here. You enter here. Your stop is like, let's say below here. You almost get stopped out. If you didn't take it off manually because you thought it was gonna get stopped out, you're good. But then it goes, runs. We inverse this. People are playing this as an inverse play. Boom. It goes. Maybe you take a partial there. and then the rest comes stops you out. And then right here, we just display slower. I thought we were done here. I was like, okay, well, we're just going to be done for the day. And then we displace higher. Again, creates an opportunity to the downside. And then we just completely inverse that. So obviously we are bullish, but it's just such a high resistance liquidity run to the upside, which is, again, mentally draining for a lot of people, myself included. Just seeing all this is kind of annoying, you know? You just want to be done. So the only thing I'm looking at right here is just this 2-minute gap, right? It's this 2-minute fair value gap. I'm expecting this to take us higher. Yes, it's still not reached into this area. I do think we're going there. Just gotta be patient, right? But yeah, this is trading for you. You know, this is not what your average guru will show you. How long these trades take? Nearly 2 hours in this trade. We took our first partial at 56 minutes, nearly an hour. And we just been going through it, you know. And good thing I haven't even been in front of the charts the whole time. Like I've been in and out doing other things, but it's crazy. I will move myself to break even because I don't think this is worth it if it's coming all the way back down again. Like this should hold price. In an efficient market, this holds price, right? On the 5-minute, we have an order block here. Give it enough room if it wants to wake down into it, but in an efficient price market, we displace out of here. And if we don't displace out of here, then I'm okay with, you know what? Practice what you preach. I'll take a partial there, and then I'll just leave the rest. That way there's peace of mind, and I take some money out of the marketplace. And then I'll just let this one go, right? Until we tap into here. Why am I taking a partial here? Again, the mental drainage is not worth it. It's not worth for market to come all the way down, take me out, break even, and then decide to start wanting to move forward. You have to understand also your emotions and how you're feeling during the trade, because this is incredibly just mentally taxing, right? So just let this one ride out until we reach this target, and then we'll take it off. If it gets there before it gets here, then we'll take it off before then. But if hopefully it just passes through and we're able to get a nice big displacement. I was expecting this macro to do something, which we did expand up, but just not enough, right? We got one last contract. Dang. I totally forgot today's Wednesday. I have a real estate class I needed to attend to. It is what it is. I've just been doing my own studying on that as well. But I just totally forgot about it. It was at 7:30 a.m. We're probably tape reading. Which, don't get me wrong, this will still be a nice winning day, but it's just mentally draining, bro. We'll clean up our chart a bit. We have way too many drawings and stuff in here. We'll put that back on. Just take that off. Take that off. Take that off. We'll just leave this there. So you want to see how high resistance conditions look like? They look like this. These are the conditions that blow a lot of traders' accounts, right? You don't understand the market. You don't understand how to read it. You will get blown out in these conditions. Why? Because you have so many conflicting ideas that play on your emotions to think long, short, and you're in both of them. So I'm gonna be trailing my stop to this low. I want to see expansion through here. If we don't get expansion through here, I'm okay getting stopped out right there, man. I'm done for the day. I want to see us take this high. And for you guys that have been watching for 2 hours and 30 minutes, props to you, man. You guys have a crazy attention span. But if you want to just fast forward through this, I'm gonna glimpse through the video and I'll just, I mean, there's, I think, valuable information throughout the video, right? So if you want to retain it all, maybe do it, watch it while you're on a cardio session or whatnot. Maybe there's things in here you can relate to when trading. Um, I do think that there's a lot of things that a lot of traders can relate to, especially when they have these constant battles, right? A lot of people I know that I've seen so far on social media have been blowing on here nonstop. They're down horrendously today. So this is the importance of risk management and then just following your plan, right? So can't stress that enough. Again, I want to see an expansion through here. If we don't get it here, then I'm okay getting stopped out pretty much at where I took the other partial at. Just because it's a little bit mentally draining. And then just go about my day, go to the gym, do the other things we have to do outside of the charts, right? You don't want to be attached to the charts all day. I feel like we've been on here for way too long in a trade. It would be different if we're just tape reading or just, watching the chart together pretty much. But we've been on here in a trade for, this has got to be my longest trade ever. God, it's going to be going up to 2 hours, which is insane, right? But it is what it is. It looks like it gains some momentum and then it doesn't, but we just have to wait. We have to wait for ES to do its thing. I do think we're going to end up taking it off as soon as ES takes that high. That's where we have some crazy expansion, but crazy market for everybody that says days like this are easy. They're not, especially for anybody starting off in the beginning. And you kind of see this type of price action. Holy crap, you're getting chopped. You're getting your account blown. And hopefully it's a funded account. It's not real money, because if not, it's detrimental to your mental. You mess up all kinds of emotions. And for those individuals that just have a lot of or just started and have that beginner's luck and they're just getting lucky, they just see PD arrays that they just picked up yesterday, and they're like, fair value gap, go long, and this works out, and they're like, oh, the market's so easy. Eventually you'll see it'll catch up to you. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people that have just started, have a couple months in, not even a year or so, and I just see them all over social media. Oh, trading's so easy. It can be, but at the same time, it can also be mentally testing you, right? And this is where discipline and being consistent with your plan comes into play. Because in most cases, we tend to not be as consistent with that. We say we're going to do something and then we don't, right? But the whole point here is to ensure that we follow the plan. And that's what trading is. Trading teaches you so much more than just charts. It teaches you more about life than it does teach you about technical science in the charts. Following through to your plan. If you said you were going to hold this to here, move your stop to here, why? What's the reasoning? And ensure that you stick to that, right? If we wouldn't have given this trade a little bit of breathing room, because we acknowledge that this order block can't be retraced to, and we've been in this deep retracement type of market, moving my stop here wouldn't have granted me this. And also the fact that we put in this SMT. So that I did not know we were going to put in an SMT. So again, you have to acknowledge where you were on the right pair, because if we were on ES, we would have got taken out, and then we would have had an SMT with NQ, and then boom, it would have went, right? So that would have been really, really annoying. And it's happened to me before where I'm on the wrong pair and I am the SMT. I am this liquidity here. And then the market goes, and then the other pair doesn't have that lower retracement. So yeah, I know what that feels like. I know what all this chop feels like. I've been in these type of chop fests before and gotten destroyed, right? Um, in my beginning stages, I've gotten stuck in these type of consolidationary periods. And now let's look at what the market's doing. We're close to this high, right? And now we're retracing into an inefficiency here. And then on a 2-minute, we also have that. So I'm expecting this to hold here. This is why I wouldn't want to see it come all the way back down. And I'm only giving it to this protected low, I would assume, to see it push higher. If not, then I'm okay getting stopped out here. It's just, yeah. For those that traded this, let me know how you did in the comments or shoot me a DM. Usually the people on Instagram are a lot more active. I have a couple guys on there that are pretty open about their trades. And when they get, chopped up and it's tough and whatnot. But yeah, but we've been on this stream. I know I said it wasn't going to be long, but 2 hours and 36 minutes. That's insane. Insane. 2 hours, 36 minutes. It's quite a long time. Nearly 3 hours. That's some ICT type stream where he just yaps. I feel like I'm just yapping all day. I was expecting this trade to work out rather quickly, be done in 10 minutes. And there it is, guys. About a 45-minute video. But, market had other plans for us today. I've also had a lot of people reach out on Instagram more than anything. Like if when I post videos or stuff like that, if I can teach people, and trust me, if you have something already set up, like you don't want to get into trading, you don't want to just rush into it because or get into it because you think people it's so easy and this and that. No, social media just conveys that idea, but it's not. It takes a lot of mental discipline, a lot of consistency with yourself, and fixing all avenues in your life to ensure that you can operate calmly in the charts, right? Where you're not operating out of emotion. That's why I recommend books like The Disciplined Trader by Mark Douglas. That's a really, really good book. I actually just finished it for the third time. And every time I feel like I pick up something new. A book that was recommended by the guy that taught me Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Really, really good book. He also recommended The Best Loser by Tom Hugard. Also another good book. I would say Trading in the Zone is definitely more of that mainstream trading book, and it's a lot better in my opinion. The Best Loser, it's great to give you that personal connection to what trading can make you go through. But again, I think you can lose forever, but if you're not learning anything from your losses, then you're just a pretty good loser, you're just continuously going to be losing. But I would say when you lose, really taking the time to reflect on your losses and understand why you're losing. Like the last day, yesterday, we lost, but that loss was completely permissible, but we lost because we were in a premium side of that continuation move, right? So our bias is correct, but we joined in on a premium. I've done that countless times. When will I ever learn? Till I decide to learn, right? Until like that has stung me enough. And I've been doing pretty good lately about not entering in a premium portion of that move. But again, yesterday it happened, and it happens, and it probably will happen again. But it's being cautious, ensuring that you're not entering on a premium of the move. Was this a premium of the move? No, right? We've come down. Oh shoot, I just moved this. I don't even know where it was at. Just discard. We've come down. Oh my gosh. We've come down. We've created an SMT at the lows, and then we are coming off this 5-minute fair value gap. Our entry is literally around this area here. Our target is all the way up here. It would be different if we're entering here, right? If we're entering on this fair value gap or this fair value gap, and then just to get railed, right? So we have a small 5-minute. This is what I'm talking about. Like like so many PD arrays that should be holding price, and then we just continuously are retracing really deeply, and then we wick or something, and then we end up respecting that PD array, which is still following bullish order flow. But again, this is what I'm talking about, the mental drainage, right? This is why I'm okay getting stopped out right here, because I just rather be done for the day. And honestly, the best thing to do is just pretty much be done. Just stop yourself out, right? If you start to feel uncomfortable, just be done and be stopped out. But I'm okay with waiting till here, right? Because we have PD arrays to support that. So I'll give it a chance. It's already in profit. I'll be green on the day. No need to overstimulate yourself with fear, right? Like, yes, we can come down and stop me out, but at the same time, just rather let it play out for me. But if anybody is feeling completely uncomfortable and I was in this position, I would probably just cut it right here, right? And just take my 242 ticks and move to the sideline. But again, we wanna wait, because I believe this is this is a 1 to 2 already where it's at right now currently. So it's not bad. 1 to 2 according to this SMT. But I do want to see if we can get up there, or at least to ES take this high again, like our original plan is. Can't wait to go to the gym. There's this YouTuber I watch. I really like looking at his videos. He's been going crazy the last couple days. Right. But people could get lucky. And then today he had a really horrible day. And all those gains are gone. But his style of trading is just everybody has different styles, right? But it's just there's no structure to it at all. It's just kind of like, I just go based on what whatever liquidity is closest to me type of trading. This is why daily bias for me is incredibly important, because if we didn't have a daily bias, our bias could have changed like 1,000 times. And I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning of the stream where my bias was slightly changing bearish right here, but I didn't enter. I just put the little short tool, and then I was just like, okay, I don't want to get induced just because I see this low being close to this low, but that's an SMT low. And if we're going higher to the lows that are really equal to each other, I'd rather just wait, right? So that's what we're doing. How much? Oh, discard that. How much risk to reward? 1 to 1.5. Right there's a 1 to 2.5. So we just inverse this 5. We haven't even tapped a 5 on ES. Interesting. So we just tapped a 5 on ES. We've came down to this unmitigated. 1 minute. Have your order block here, your inversion. Yeah, no way I let this give it more room. Because technically you have your inverse here, your order block. But again, I just want to see it play out here. And this happens doesn't mean that we're going to go lower if we just create. A lot of people are like, oh, this is an inverse now, right? No. Market does this. I've seen this done so many times where we technically inverse it and then we reclaim it almost instantly. And the only reason why I'm favoring that is because ES barely tapped into its 5, right? And NQ already inversed it. We're coming back into it. I'm expecting this to just be a fake move for anybody that's trading inverses, right? So we'll see. But if it takes me out, I'm happy with this. And I'll be done. Just zoom out. Jesus. What's Ethereum at? Okay, at least Ethereum's at 3,100. Yeah, I stopped buying Ethereum once it got to 3,000. So I'm done buying Ethereum until we can either show some displacement higher, then I'll sell some at the standard deviation we've talked about in the previous videos, which is a 6,834 level, and then the second standard deviation, which is close to the $10,000 level, but 9,556, I believe. 56? Yeah. Oh, so yeah, 9,560.48. And yeah. Okay. I do like this expansion here. Nice. We've come in, we tapped this unmitigated 1 minute. I'm expecting us to see this low not get retraced to and push higher, right? Because we already mitigated that 1 minute. So all this price has been mitigated here. We've tapped into the order block. Now we can just expect the price to push higher and this inverse not to be an actual inverse. Because this is what inverse players are doing, right? People that are playing inverse, they see that they're going short there and they're getting railed, right? Because we swept liquidity, we inverse the 5, go short there. But I'm holding my narrative and my bias of being bullish. And in efforts to do that and get some more profit, I am moving myself to that low right there. So this guarantees me my 1 to 2. And now if we get up here first, then we take it off, or we could honestly just let it run. Don't matter. Because I feel like once we take this liquidity, we should see a nice expansion. So we'll see. But I am just paying attention to this right here. Right. This has already been swept. Such a long trade. Just to kind of get over how long this trade is. Let's see how much time we've been in this. Now that it's been a little longer. Jeez. Louise. Holy 2 hours. New record for me. It's the longest trade I've been in, 2 hours. Before that, the longest trade I had been in was 1 hour and 27 minutes. That's crazy. I thought that was way too long. And now this is topping that by a whole 40 minutes and plus. But yeah, so anybody that watches the video, pick up on little insights here and there. 2 cents. The book I was referring to is this one right here. I mentioned it before in some of my videos. The Disciplined Trader by Mark Douglas, Developing Winning Attitudes. I think that book is incredibly good for anybody that's trading or overall wants to develop more positive attitudes in life. I think your subconscious mind is incredibly powerful. And when we talk negatively about things to ourselves, or we write, a lot of traders have journals to journal all their trades. We tend to write negative things about ourselves, and we shouldn't. We should write positive things. We should encourage ourselves, right? Because trading is already difficult as it is, and for us to be nonstop bashing everything we do is just not okay. So continue to be disciplined, get after everything you need to get after, and understand that your time doesn't have to be spent all day on the markets, right? For you to be considered a trader and be consistent, spend the adequate amount of time you need, backtest the things you need to backtest, and just like anything, give it time, right? You don't go to the gym and expect to be ripped or in shape in one session or in 1 week or in a month. You expect it to take some time, right? Because things that take time often yield high rewards. We don't just see everybody. Look at our society. Our society, majority of them are not in shape. They don't have adequate discipline. They don't have a structure to their life. Why? Because it's difficult to obtain those things. It's difficult to navigate this world with such structure that keeps you in line towards your goals. Most of the time, we prefer dopamine over discipline. We want to just beat out, want to go eat with our friends or whatnot. And that hinders our goals, whether it's fitness goals, spiritual goals, financial goals, or relationship goals, whatever it is. It all connects back to this stuff that I'm talking about. That's why that book is really good. Not only does it help out traders that are developing, but it also helps out people that are wanting to do better in life, right? So, so 1 minute we've slowly trickled our way up there. Now we're displacing lower, and we have a small inverse here. If we're gonna hold this inverse, should hold it right there, and then pump us lower, higher. I mean, but if not, then I'll be happy to be out of this trade, man. I just honestly can't wait to be out. It's crazy, crazy trade. But I'm glad I'm able to navigate these waters rather than just consistently like blowing the account or something. It's tough, don't get me wrong, but again, understanding price action is tough sometimes. So if this inverse doesn't hold, more than likely we're gonna get stopped out, right? I do expect this inverse to hold here, and then that way we can pump up higher. And ES finally take this buy side that we've been waiting for, right? And then if we can get a pump up there, I'll just be trailing my stop right behind it. See how much profit we can squeeze out of it. So we've reclaimed this 5 minute. Let me take this off. We inversed it and reclaimed 5 minute, and then now we're using it again. So we can tap back into it. And now I want to see a displacement out of here into this high, and then ES taking this high. But yeah, so much yapping to do in this session. I mean, we had 2 hours and Jesus, almost 3 hours. That's insane. But yeah, I wonder. I mean, yeah, everybody has different struggles. Trading is very unique, and I know a lot of people on social media make it seem like it's not as unique, but everybody's upbringing is completely different. Everybody's learning curve, um, everything has an effect in trading. If your patience level you're usually an impatient, impulsive person, you will tend to make more mistakes, right? I think something I struggled with a lot was just being calm, understanding that nothing needs to be done right now. And my whole life, I grew up like always needing to do something, right? Like work or whatever it was just nonstop. Like, okay, my dad engraved that into me. So I feel like those are the battles that I kind of like had to go through that were the toughest for me, was letting go of the fact that you do absolutely nothing and you wait. And that felt like I don't deserve anything then if I'm not doing anything, right? But you've already done all the work. You've put in the time. You've back tested. You've studied this, and you've made this craft everything for your career. So let the results play out, right? And sometimes the fear or the feeling of like, wait, but I'm just gonna sit here for what we've been sitting here for 3 hours, and technically no manual labor has gone in. but there's been enough labor from sleepless nights and all the learning that has occurred over time, right? That we don't see, right? We just discount it completely sometimes, even on ourselves. We don't give ourselves the credit that we need. And that can make trading even more tough, right? Because you are progressing. And sometimes we don't see the progress we want to see. It's just, you have to be patient. Look at this, guys. So close to the target. And now we're dropping lower, back into the 5, back into that 1 minute, sorry, inversion. Not efficient at all. I've seen a lot better days. So anybody that got hurt blowing the count or anything like that, or just down on the day, don't feel bad for not knowing how to navigate this, because this is not efficient at all. Right? This price action is a little diabolical and very slow. Do need to go to the restroom, but in case this pumps up, I want to make sure I take it off manually. It's so odd. We were just talking about books, and then someone reaches out to me on Instagram asking what books I recommend. Send a screenshot. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're just gonna trail this, by the way. There it is. So no expansion there, but we did get that target. All right, so there's a trade for today. Just call it right there. So crazy day. But anyways, anybody that stayed on for this long, watched the whole video, hopefully you guys got some good information, how to manage a trade correctly, what I did to manage it, and I explained everything, why I'm moving my stops to specific areas that should not be touched, even in markets like this where we have some crazy wicks and crazy retracements, right? Because we're obviously bullish. What are we doing? We're trickling up to this high, right? But we're doing it in a fashion that is not low resistance. It's not like this. This is low resistance. This is high resistance. We go up higher, then we come back down lower. Then we go up higher, then we come back down lower. Then we go up higher, then lower. So it just creates a lot of difficulty for especially newer traders to be able to navigate this type of price action. And this PA will take you out. So just be very, very careful. Thank you for those that stayed in and watched the whole video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you guys end up watching the full 3 hours, thank you for the support and everything. And just leave a comment if you have any questions. We'll be back on here tomorrow, and we'll see what we can read tomorrow on price. So I'm not upset with top step. Would have been nice if we would have had a nice winning day. You know, a couple $100, 300 times 5 would have been nice, 400 times 5, but we got stopped out at 120. So made about a $580 over there. And then over here, I still have to do the math, but it should be like a good 3 or something, some change, 400 maybe. But I'm not upset at this. It's good price delivery. After all, we read it well, but the price delivery was just very high resistance, but it delivered. But hope everybody has a great day. Go to the gym, go do something productive, get off the charts, and yeah, see you guys next time.